I am a retired evangelical covenant pastor. I'm a white guy. I got the blonde hair. I got the blue eyes, about as white as you can get. I have master's degrees in literature and theology, and I have studied the life and teachings of Jesus with intensity for 60 years. So I want to say to my fellow evangelicals who lift up and celebrate Donald Trump, I want to ask this these questions. What the hell is the matter with you? What happened to your ability to make moral discernments? When did you stop reading the New Testament? Who were you listening to when you worked so hard to impress the Donald, an adjudicated rapist, a compulsive liar, and an obvious con artist? When you imposed him on our country, what were you doing? He repels the decent. He disgraces our government. He wallows in his own putrid narcissism, neglects the poor, evades justice, and lies constantly. And he is the one a whole bunch of evangelicals claim to be, quote, so authentic. The white evangelical movement in America has become a moral horror. Deep, prolonged repentance is in order. Also, your silence for the next 20 years would be appreciated. Forces that are pitched against the life and witness of Jesus, the forces of greed, the force of superiority, the force of misogyny, all those forces reacted to the presidency of Barack Obama and the candidacy of Hillary Clinton by imposing a bigoted white male autocrat with zero executive ability to govern history's greatest democracy. And the army that this amoral monster used to win the presidency was white evangelicals. Trump himself, with his shameless dishonesty, described himself during his campaign as, quote, such a strong Christian. Liar. He's never in church except to give political speeches. He can't name the 4 evangelists of the New Testament. Jesus warned us bluntly and clearly, quote, no one, said Jesus, can be the slave of 2 masters. He will either hate the first and love the second, or treat the first with respect and the second with scorn. You cannot be the slave both of God and of money. During his campaign, Trump said, quote, all my life I've been greedy. Greedy, greedy, greedy. Now I want to be greedy for you. He said that. Apparently, the public found that charming. I find that statement astonishing. With a wave of his hand, Trump confesses something appalling about himself, something utterly opposed to the person of Jesus, and instantly turns this confession into a manipulation of the clueless, who listen to his verbal sewage with adoration in their eyes. Let's ponder that statement, quote, now I want to be greedy for you, unquote. The first thing to notice about his statement is that it sounds simple and coherent, but it is in fact an inane jumble. What is he saying with the words, now I want to be greedy for you? He could have said, Now I want to share the results of my greed with you, but he didn't. He never would do such a thing. Other wealthy people might transition into philanthropy, not old Donald. There are basically three things we can do with money. We can earn it, we can spend it, and we can give it. Donald can't give. Donald can't give. He's a taker and a spender on himself only. Because to a narcissist, the only worthy recipient is the self. But apparently, a whole lot of people heard him say, now I want to be greedy for you, and believed he wanted us to become rich too. And they voted for him. We have a problem deeper than Trump. Scores of millions of our citizens have been hollowed out. We resonated with his greed. I'm supposed to love people and to use money, but a lot of us love money and use people. The Donald is the avatar of loving money and using people. Actually, he uses them up. Think of how exhausted Trump makes so many of us feel. It is no mean feat to pointlessly exhaust 340 million people, but that's what he's done. I'm deeply grateful for Joe Biden. Let's make sure he defeats the lout, Donald Trump. Let us crush Trump and the now ruined GOP in the way he should be crushed, at the polls. I have grandkids. I don't want them living in Trumplandia, not for 1 minute.